Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for the collective. So, because this is a reading for the collective, I'm doing it with my big combined deck of tarot cards and astrological oracle cards. So, you'll see both of them in your reading today. Um, in fact, we do have two very symbolic cards from the astrological oracle cards here. But just to begin with this message, I just want to clarify something as a disclaimer, actually, right from the start because as I sat down to pull cards, I actually intended to pull cards for myself. And I asked for a confirmation whether or not this should be, a message just for myself or something that was supposed to be shared with the collective. And so my agreement with the universe, with the cards, was that if the first card was the death card, it would be a message just for myself. So because I'm recording this, you know that we're not beginning with the death card, although it is coming through later on. And so from the appearance or the symbology of the death card being this card that was representing this message for myself, although this is a collective reading, there is also some pieces of it that are meant for myself. So here I am putting myself in this position of translating this for you, but also translating it for myself. So it's kind of like I'm holding space to decipher this message for you guys over there on the other side of the screen. But at the same time, your energy watching this is helping me decipher on this side of the screen what is the message for myself as I'm translating this. So it is an exchange, and I'm just emphasizing this because we're beginning with the Six of Pentacles, which seems to be this transaction, right? It is an exchange of energy, it is a give and take. And so the message that came through with the Six of Pentacles starting this collective reading, that is for you and for me, um, it's just to continue, it's just to keep on going. And so, right from the start, when I received this continue word, right? So it came in a very soft but very firm sound. So continue, keep moving forward, keep going. So for me, it was like a message of, okay, an encouragement to continue pulling cards for the collective, but it was also a message for the collective overall. Whatever you're doing, continue, right? Because in a way that might might be visible to some, might not be visible to some, it is showing progress because we go from the Six of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles. So in a way, this progress, this movement forward is gathering. It is it's like it's absorbing energy, it's concentrating energy, it's accumulating energy, right? You see the image here. But the thing is, in in pursuing this, in continuing this, and accumulating this energy or gathering these people, there is something that is going to be built for the benefit of all because we have the Four of Wands. And so here is where it's a little bit tricky because at the same time that, traditionally the Four of Wands is a very happy card, right? A reason to celebrate, as I often say. Actually, this card was bringing me this it's like this image of a foundation that it's not on rock or stone or concrete. It's a more organic matter. It's kind of like four poles that are actually branches or trees that are growing, but it requires the energy of the whole, the energy of this group. So continue moving forward, and it's like bringing together the people, the resources, everything that is necessary so that there is like this concentration of energy because there is a new foundation that is growing from the ground up. But it's not a matter of piling up bricks or knowledge or whatever it is. It's more like coming together and bringing the incentive. You see what I mean? It's kind of like being in a circle of people that everybody is focused in this central thing. And it's kind of like the central thing is this foundation, is this new base, right? Because it's the number four. To me, the number four brings this stability, this grounding energy. But for some reason today, the Four of Wands here, it's not wanting to be, the grounding energy that goes down. It's more like, the it's like the underground work has been done. So now it's a matter of growing up. And because after that we have Chiron, which, in astrology, Chiron, and in old myths, Chiron is the wounded healer. But really what I was seeing with this Chiron is the fruit of this labor, the fruit of all of this intense work, which might be physical, right? There might be, like this hands-on type of labor because of the pentacle suit, right? Which is being encouraged here to continue. But there's also this more subtle encouragement. It's like the work in itself, apart from coming together, from bringing the resources together, it's more like holding space for something very natural, for something very organic to grow, right? And give fruits. So this Chiron is, and because Chiron talks about healing, right? It is the process of healing, but it goes through the wound. It's almost like it wants to emphasize the part that is already making visible the healing, making visible the progress, making visible the growth. It wants to emphasize the fruit instead of the pain, right? Or the labor, or whatever sacrifice was needed, right? Whatever work was put into these transactions. So it's more it's more on the side of, okay, so how can we see the good in it? How can we savor it? It's kind of like this very succulent uh, apple or orange or whatever it is. It's like this very beautiful and delicious fruit. But here it's weird because it's not visually, it's not what these ones expected. It's kind of like a healing that it goes sideways, or you see here how this part is kind of like squeezed. It's almost like that. It's like the fruit is not exactly what was anticipated, right? So the work that is continuing here, that is concentrating here for this to grow and to give this fruit, so to it's like to facilitate a healing. The healing in itself is, it's other, it's different, it requires kind of like this pulling of this part. It's almost like the fruit is squeezed, it hasn't developed fully. I don't know exactly why is like that specific, but it's almost like it needs pulling off of this top part. And until I saw the card of Chiron, and before the other three cards came through, in fact, they came all together. I was just a little bit puzzled by that image. It's almost like, okay, so here is the fruit of this intense labor, right? Which seems to be, requiring a bunch of people to come together, or at least like relationships to happen, right? Transactions to happen. Why? It seems delicious. It seems very healthy. It seems very healing, but why does it look like it's awkward, or it's not to its maximum potential? You see what I mean? And I want to say it's because it's kind of like everything that I said so far, it represents a small portion of the collective. So it's almost like a group that, it's kind of like a cell, right? It's like a cell in the body. And the bigger body is the earth. So here, you see here how it's like the fruit, which is here now well developed, it has no longer this top part, right? This whatever name this is. So imagine like removing this, and it's almost like this top part was kind of like a splinter, right? And the moment that you tick off this, it's like it grows, right? So the same growth that I was seeing here, almost like this natural, spontaneous growing of a flower or growing of a plant, it's the earth. This is the process, maybe the healing process that the earth is going right now. So it's been squeezed by something that was kind of like, the word that I'm receiving now is like oppressing it, right? So it was tight. It was yeah, it was like just rigid, right? Not fully developed. But here it's almost like there is this potential already at play. It's not something that needs working, right? It's the same thing that I was seeing here. It's like the fruit is already here to be picked, right? It's like the healing is already here to be served is what I'm hearing. However, for the earth to feel this process, or even like to savor, it's more like savor the delicious fruit that it is, right? It's like it needs this crossing, it needs this fear threshold, the death and devil, right? So it's funny how the devil is after the death, because it's almost like, what's on the other side of this door, what's on the other side of this fear threshold? And I want to say the devil is not here to hide, it's not here to manipulate, it's not here to um, cheat. It just means that in crossing this door, the earth, or us as the earth, we have a choice. And it's kind of like a choice that needs weighing, it needs consideration, it needs discernment. And that's the reason why the work that initiated this entire thing, it's like it's a group work. It's not one person, it's the collective, right? And I feel like that's the reason why the healing is already here, it's already being served, the fruit is already ready, right? But it needs somebody to remove kind of like the splinter. So it needs somebody that is going to be willing to cross the fear threshold and make this first choice. However, because of the card that is here at the bottom, which is the Temperance card, I do feel like there is no hierarchy. There is no one leader that is going to make this move. It's kind of like the collective that is working this out together, right? Because this weighing that I mentioned about, how the earth is going to go through this change, this incredible transformation, and make a choice. It's kind of like, us here alive at this moment in time making a choice between old earth, right? Which is the one with the splinter, which is the one with the pain, the hurt, the wound, or the new earth that is already like ready to be savored, right? It's already this fruit that is. It's interesting. The word that I'm receiving is dignified. Um, However, for this to be enjoyed by the collective, this crossing is necessary. This choice is necessary, and it needs to be discussed. It needs to be it's like it needs to be talked through. It needs to be just, it's almost like this collective of wise people, right? Wise people who know how to balance things, how to discern things. It's almost like this fine choice, right? It is a fine choice. It is a fine line that is, binding the two. So in a sense, it's like in choosing one, it has some sort of connection to the other, and vice versa. It's not completely different. In fact, I always say this about this card. It's like it was one path, but it got cut. It's not completely severed, but it still has this point of connection. And in crossing this threshold, it's like the earth has this choice, which is now being discussed. It's like in a very wise and even like this very patient way by the collective, in order to decide, in order to choose which one do we go with. It's like, which is the path that we want, the old earth, the wound, or are we going to focus on the healing? Are we going to focus on this fruit? Are we going to keep on discussing whether or not this is, awkward, or, this shape is not right? Or are we going to enjoy the fruit of our labor, right? And remove the splinter of doubt or the splinter of fear, or, whatever manipulation is potentially here, right? It's like this collective is going to take time to ponder with each other, right? And that's the reason why there is this gathering happening. And that's why it's being encouraged here for it to continue, because it's kind of like it's almost like this stabilizing of this growth. The growth is happening, and each time it's almost like the choice is going to become more and more evident. But it's like the discernment is also growing together with this new foundation. It's like the new foundation for the new earth, which is being healed at the same time that it grows. It's like it's going to make the devil even more evident. So choices are going to become even more um, necessary, or even more, um, it's like crucial, right? Significant. It's like, what do you choose? Do you choose to keep on focusing on the wound, or are you going to focus on the healing? Are you going to focus on, all of the problems, all of what's wrong with the earth, or are you going to focus on what's beautiful, right? What's abundant, right? All of the fruits that are here for us to enjoy. So this seems to be the crossing that is happening, and I feel like there's nothing to fear on the other side, right? It's almost like the clearer the devil comes to be, or shows itself to be, it's like the it's not easier, maybe the right word, but it's like it's going to be more clear, this choice. So the fact that a choice is here to be made, it's not something, it doesn't want to separate, it doesn't want to distinguish. It's just a matter of kind of like emphasizing the free will that we have. It's like we're here on earth and we always have a choice. We can choose between the wound, the pain, or the healing, right? And therefore we can, it's almost like, that's the thing. It's like that story about the apple, right? The apple from the tree of wisdom, right? It's like reframing that. It's like that's been done. It's like, how are we going to allow this potential to fully bloom? How are we going to savor this fruit that is already here? It's already in place. How do we remove that splinter? How do we see that the devil is not a threat at all? It's just showing itself for what it is, which is the power of choosing, right? That is this free will that is so beautifully and so uh, patiently carved here, or discovered, or even like discussed, right? It's almost like this collective that you might be a part of. So you and your friends, you and your family, you and your partner, whomever is part of your, smaller community, whomever you're gathering with, is like you seem to have incredibly enriching discussions, right? No matter how long they take, because, you know, the temperance here is just emphasizing that it's not about how long it takes, it's about the substance, right? It's like, how are you going to savor this moment to discuss what is the wound, what is the healing, what is this reality for earth, what is this transformation that is happening for us all, right? And having this power to choose. Because as I said, it's like, it's almost like these groups are cells of this larger body that is earth. So it's happening all around, it seems. It's like this bigger transformation, this bigger understanding. What is free will? What is the power that we have to choose between focusing on what's hurting or focusing on what's healing, right? So that seems to be the work that needs to continue. And, you know, continue not just with the practical stuff, but also with the intention to make it grow. It's like holding space because this growth needs kind of like this stabilizing force, right? And so it grows upon these enriching discussions, right? Because that's how, you know, we're all going to learn how to savor this life, this earth, right? So that's fascinating. I didn't expect that there at the end. I wonder, I feel like there's more, right? It's almost like, okay, so the discussion is not over. I'm hearing here from the temperance. It's more so like, okay, let's make a small break and then let's resume. Let's continue because the conversation can keep on going, right? And it's important that it does because that's how this structure, this foundation is growing, right? In a very organic but also a very aligned way, a very healed way. So, with that said, I am going to pull more cards to see what wants to come next. What is this continuation of this conversation? And also, I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So, if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. I'll leave the link for the new platform where all the new extendeds are right now. And of course, if you have any troubles with signing up or signing in or getting to the PayPal checkout page, please send me an email. I'll be happy to help. And I truly hope that you enjoy this extended if you go there. I'll be very happy to see you there. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.